The farm has 39 earth ponds of varying depths and sizes, carefully laid out with each one serviced by gravity flow from a guaranteed daily supply of 2.5 million gallons taken from a nearby reservoir. The Howietoun farm was built 107 years ago by Sir James Maitland, a Victorian landowner who devoted a 15-acre corner of his estate to fish production. He may have been considered eccentric in his day, but what he created showed just how far ahead of his time he was. And it was here on this island site that Sir James Maitland did much to establish his reputation as something of a Victorian eccentric. Of course, it was years before this little bridge was built, and each morning Sir James used to come to work by boat. And if during the course of his working days someone turned up that he didn't particularly like the look of, well, he simply didn't push the boat across for them. And then again, he had a special flat roof constructed on the top of his office, so that if the weather was fine, he could clamber up there and through his binoculars or telescope, look down on his creation and make sure that all his men were doing the job they were paid for. But it was inside the office that the real work was done. Sir James Maitland would sit here on this chaise longue and think and plan the future of his Howietoun farm. And he could look up at the ceiling and remind himself of his record of solid achievement, a record that included the winning of 2 gold medals, 2 silvers, and a special award at the International Fisheries exhibition in London in 1883. But there were lighter moments too. Sir James had a special hole cut here in the floor of his office, and when times weren't too pressing in the office, he would open the trapdoor and take some food and feed it through the hole to his beloved Howietoun trout. Yet despite these little eccentricities, there's no denying the remarkable contribution that Sir James Maitland made to the fish farming industry in those early days more than 100 years ago. And it's a contribution that he carefully documented in books like this. This particular one covers the period 1880 to 1882. And even then, there's no denying the remarkable scale of his operation, which he mentions in a letter to D.C. Donaldson, the superintendent of the Tweed River Police at Melrose, and is dated January the 8th, 1881. And in the letter he says, "My fishery is now the most extensive in the world, being capable of producing over 20 million Loch Leven trout eggs per annum, or about 500 gallons of spawn. We will next season be able to lay down 5 million salmon eggs without interfering with the trout hatchery at all. Yours truly, James Maitland."